We need Caitlin Cross and Porter Clark to check in with Joe for this first class in our market lambs. We're ready to begin the Market Lamb Show. We're bringing into the ring our lightweight class. These lambs weigh between 81 and 111 pounds. Judging our Market Lamb show this morning is Jeff Rapaski of Lonsdale, Minnesota. Jeff is a full-time farmer. He owns and operates Northern Star Livestock Service, where they try to run around 350 to 400 Southdowns and blackface and whiteface weather-type ewes. Jeff has judged numerous state and national shows, including the Big E before, and he's happy to be back here. Jeff has also sat on the American Southdown Association board for several years. Let's welcome Jeff Rapaski to the Big E. And for you exhibitors, we will be announcing the scanning results as well here this morning. So that's a big plus for us. We've sometimes not been able to do that, so we will be doing that today.
As we started out in this lightweight class, the ewe lamb I'm going to elect to start with. The ewe lamb for me, she's just shallow in her chest floor and her front third of her body. Her shoulder lays a little better for me. When you get your hands on her, she's a lot more crisper to the touch. She comes into a really big full rack and back into a wide loin, back into a square hip, carries down into the center part of her leg. The sheep that comes in second, maybe that's not quite as firm to the touch for me compared to our class winner. A sheep that also, when I get him into motion, I just like to change him a little bit in his hocks. When he runs around the ring, he just gets a little outside of himself. If we can change that about him and tone him up, he maybe challenges our class winner more. The sheep that comes third here, the white-faced sheep, the sheep is just a little softer to the touch for me. Just not quite as firm and crisp compared to the two right in front of him. Sheep, for me, when this shortens up a little bit also. He gets a little plainer in the front third of his body, a little deeper through the bottom part of his underline compared to the two who's right in front of him today. Round out, come next in line here is sheep in four. The sheep that also, once again, he gets a little deeper in the front third of his body, especially when you get him into motion. The sheep, for me, he gets a little softer in his pastures. When you get up over top of him and you get your hands on him, he narrows up quite a bit compared to the three predecessors that was right in front of him today to get him up any higher in class. We round out the top five with a textile ewe lamb here. The sheep is really big and good in touch. And her touch, real big in her rack and out through the center part of her stifle. The sheep, for me, shortens up quite a bit flank to flank compared to the ones right above her today to get her any higher in class.
Results from our lightweight class of market lambs weighing 81 to 111 pounds. First place goes to Porter Clark, lamb 2580, weighing 104. Second place to Brooklyn Gold, lamb 250119, weighing 107. Third, Morgan Syme. Fourth place to Olivia Osterlander. Fifth place to Rachel Prestigiacomo. Sixth place to Amelia Withington. Seventh place to Case LaSala. Eighth place to Jessica Linth. Ninth place, Charlotte Linth. 10, Charlotte Dill. And 11 to Megan Dragon. Now have entering the ring medium weight class. These lambs weigh between 116 and 136 pounds.
ewe up here on the top. I'm going to elect to start with ewe that's really heavy, structured in her bonework. A ewe for me, and most importantly, when you get your hands on her, she's really good to the touch and firm. She's good on her rib as far as her cover goes. A ewe, if I'd like to change her any one bit when I get her into motion, I'd sure like to raise her front end, raise her chest for her, and jack her up out of that front third of her body when she goes around the ring. But a sheep that handles and touches really good. The ewe in second is a ewe is really shallow, short bladed. Her chest floor is right. Her neck set's really good. She's really good to the touch and firm. Got a big loin working out through her hip area. ewe for me, she shortens up a little from her 13th rib back. Also shortens up from flank to flank compared to our class winner. If I can stretch her out there, she wins this class fairly handily for me. The white sheep here comes third in class. Another sheep is really big in her loin, really percents out good in her back through her hip and through the center part of her stifle. A sheep for me, just getting a little bit soft today. She's a little bit maybe overcooked for me as far as condition on handle wise, but a sheep I think of merit standing up here in the top third. The South Down ewe comes next in line. A ewe is really big loin, really big flat out through her loin. A sheep, for me, when you get right behind her and start analyzing her, she just gives up too much natural width from stifle to stifle to get her around the three that's right from her today. But a sheep that handles good, she's good in her condition wise. If we can just give her a little more punch of muscle in the lower part of her stifle, we can move her up quite a bit today. The sheep, the ewe we round out the top five with. A sheep for me, we just need to get more on her. She's a little bit greened up. She's a little rawer than I care for my liking. Sheep, but it's really pretty from the side when she's propped up. She's good in her chest floor. Her shoulder tie's right. Her neck tie's right. She percents out really good, and she's got a really good touch. And she's got some natural muscle and working and stands on a good set of feet and legs. I just need to get more flesh on her today to get her up any higher in class.
Placings on our medium weight class. First place to Penny Kemp with lamb 25 to 45, lamb weighing 136 pounds. Second place to Brady Clark with a lamb 2504, weighing 120. Third, Morgan Syme, lamb 0984, 125 pounds. Fourth place to Sharon Peckham with lamb 2504, weighing 120 pounds. Fifth place to Brendan Pym, lamb 25-161, weighing 133. Sixth place to Madeline Syme. Seventh place to Brendan Pym. Eighth place to Alexis Bunning. Ninth place, Chloe Hanschkem. And 10th place to Brianna Beebe.
the big wether up here on the far end. I'm going to start with as the wether probably touches as good as anything in the class. He's still firm to the touch. Is he carrying enough on him? Absolutely, probably. But he's got a good handle to him, and he touches good for carrying the amount of weight and condition he's got on him. When you get up over top of him and you get your hands on him, he is the widest sprung. He's the most opened up, and he's caged as anything we got in class. A sheep that gets out and travels, he stands on a really good set of feet and legs, big bone, a lot of structure under him, an awful nice sheep for this heavy deal to win with. The ewe lamb comes next in line. The ewe lamb, I really like her through her shoulder and her front third of her body, the way her neck comes out. She's really good there. For me, she's just getting a little softer today. She doesn't handle with the touch and firmness compared to our class winner. If we can change that about her, I could sure use her differently today. The Texel comes next in line. Texel, she percents out really, really good. She's big in her rack and big out over her loin. Carries an exuberant amount of muscle down through the center part of her stifle. Really gets out and goes free and easy for as much muscle as she packs into that skeleton. I think, for me, I thought she deserved to be up here in the top three. Then we come into a pair that's built really similar, like a sheep that maybe just get a little tighter in their cage, not as opened up and as robust. A sheep, when you get them right up over top of them, they narrow up quite a bit at the ground compared to the ones right in front of them today, too. Just give up some natural thickness and muscle to get them up any higher in class today.
We still need the 4th place out of the lightweight class, Olivia Ostrander, lamb 2501. The overall champion from our Market Lamb show here will receive a belt buckle as well as the other awards.
Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. Not a big show, but it's bigger than what was the last time I was here. An awful nice set of sheep. But like I said, let's give them a nice round of applause. I guess if you don't know me much, I start at the ground. They got to be good at the ground. They got to get out and move, and they got to be smooth. They got to have some base width to them. They got to stay structurally sound in their structure. With that being said, I think there's an awful nice set out here. I've gotten my top the 2 rows, and we pick 4. We bring back 4 in each class or each division. I'll go out and I'll show you the 4 I like the best. I'll go out and I'll get you a champion reserve.
Yeah, if you'll go over to the backdrop, Catherine will get photos, get started on that. We do want to get these top 4. Again, photos for these top 4 before we move into the next show. For our Market Lamb show, our champion goes to our class winner of the lightweight class, Porter Clark, lamb 2580, 104-pound lamb. The reserve champion was the class winner of the medium weight class, Penny Kemp, 25-245, a lamb weighing 136. The highly commended was the heavyweight class winner, also shown by Penny Kemp, 25-033, a 165-pound lamb. And our commended goes to our second place in the medium weight class, Brady Clark, 25-04, a 120-pound lamb.
I'm going to start with the Southdown Weather on the far end. A sheep that's really balanced up good. A sheep that's got nice touch to him. He's square out through his line edges, back into his hooks to his pins. Carries a little more center stifle than our sheep in second. The ewe-lamb comes next in line. A sheep that just narrows up a little bit compared to our class winner. Not near as good from his hook or from her hooks to her pins. A sheep that gets a little bit up in her spine, out of her skeleton, up in her spine when you get her into motion compared to our class winner. Nice pair.
In the adult lightweight division, first place goes to Alyssa Niket with JNA 6411 on the tag, lamb weighing 117. Second, Kevin Rhodes 2552, lamb weighing 118. Following this second adult class, we will be selecting a champion and reserve champion from those. And after we've done that, we do want to take pictures of our adult champion and reserve champion or banner winners before we go into our youth portion of the show.
Ewe-lamb I'm going to start with up on the far end. It's really cracked open, really robust in her rib shape. A sheep is really wide base, really big flattened back through her loin, her hip. A sheep, if I'd like to change her any, I'd like to just change the front third of this sheep's body. Maybe the way her shoulders, especially when you get her into motion, I like to just raise her up through her front end, the way her neck ties. The sheep in second, a sheep just narrows up quite a bit compared to our class winner when you get your hands on him and up over top of him. But a sheep, I prefer a little more my speed, I guess, for the front third of this sheep and way his chest floor lays in him. For me today, I just need to give him more umph to get around our ewe-lamb and we win the class.
Placing on the heavyweight class, first place goes to Cassie Hanchcomb with 1968, lamb weighing 165. Second place to Cassie Hanchcomb, lamb 10,635, that lamb weighing 129.
For me today, I'm going to stick with my two heavyweights. They're going to be your champion reserve.
In the adult division, our champion goes to the first place heavyweight, Cassie Hanchcomb, tag 1968, lamb weighing 165. And reserve champion also to Cassie Hanchkin from that heavyweight class, tag 10635, that lamb weighing 129. Again, we want to get those photos of those banner winners, and then we will go into our lightweight class for the youth division. So we're going to wait just a few minutes. At this time, we're ready to begin the youth portion of our Northeast Wool and Sheep Growers Association Market Lamb Circuit Show. So we need the lightweight youth class in the ring.
ewe lamb I'm going to start with. I think you got to from the sheer length of body, her touch, the amount of thickness, and as opened up as she is in her cage compared to what we got standing behind her. Is she the shallowest through the front third of her body? Absolutely not. That's where I'd like to change her. The sheep in second. I like this sheep when she gets him out on motion. He goes. He's shallow. He stays good there. He's got a really nice touch to him. He comes back into a good line. A sheep for me. I'd like to change the way neck set is on him especially at times you catch him. He really comes out lower in the front part of his shoulder than he should. If we can change that about him and just give him some more natural thickness and open up in his cage, I can use him fairly handily. The sheep that comes next in line, a sheep that just really doesn't have near as much firmness to his touch compared to the two right in front of him today. He softens up in his touch. He just doesn't percent out quite as well as far as when you get your hands on him. I'd like to just maybe open him up a little bit also in his heart and his cage. The next sheep comes in line. They're a super pretty sheep. When you get up over top of the sheep, they're just not near enough of him compared to the three that was right in front of him in class. I think he's also given up quite a bit of weight compared to the ones right above him today, too. We put some pounds on the sheep. I think his better days are way ahead of him. This Dorset sheep we come next in line, I'd like to just change him and he's underlined quite a bit. I'd like to make him just balance up better for me, especially when you get to analyzing him coming out of his shoulder back into his rack through his spine. You just need to make him smoother there and give him more shape to his top and his rack shape, just to add more out of it to get him up any higher in class today.
Placings on our lightweight youth class. First place goes to Chloe Hanscom with lamb 2530, a lamb weighing 134. Second place to Brooklyn Gold, lamb 25019, weighing 107. Third to Olivia Ostrander. Fourth place, Chase LaSala. Fifth place, Amelia Withington. 6, William Wilds, and 7, Charlotte Linth. Now ready for the heavyweight class.
whether I'm going to start with up on the upper end. Sheep has got a really nice touch to him. He's got some definition and expression through his rack, back and working into his loin. A sheep that stays really good when you get him into motion. As far as the way his chest floor stays in him, I think for me it's an easy. That's where I'd like to change my blue sheep. As blue sheep, get your hands on this ewe lamb. She planes up quite a bit in her rack shape, not have much definition. And you get her into motion. She wants to get a little deeper in the front third of her body compared to our class winner. If I can jack her up and raise that up in her and make her a little more defined in her rack shape, I can win the class with this one fairly easily. The sheep next in line, a sheep is big and bold and real opened up in her cage. A sheep has got a really nice touch down her top and back through her loin. A sheep for me today, she's got quite a bit of condition. She gets pretty soft over them ribs compared to me. The two right in front of her, if I can lean her up some, I can change her up quite a bit in this class too. The next sheep comes in line, gets a little plainer from the side. Sheep is just not quite as good to the touch as far as the rack shape goes, especially back over his loin. He greens up quite a bit, and he's just not as fresh and tidy out through his loin edges compared to the ones above him today. And then next, we round out in the class, same kind of deal. Ewe lamb, which just kind of really gets plain in a rack shape as far as her definition goes. A sheep has got a little more condition on her, I think. As far as me, done not as good from her hooks to her pins compared to some of the ones right above her today too.
Placing on the youth heavyweight class, first place goes to Parker Hanscom, lamb 2015, weighing 143. Second place, Emily Wilds, tag 2508, lamb weighing 148. Third, Katie Drum. Fourth place, Hannah Cargill. Fifth place, Parker Hanscom. And sixth place, Harmony Wheaton. Want to make sure that we get photos of those. Our champion for the youth division goes to our first place in the lightweight division, Chloe Hanscom, with 2530, 134-pound lamb. The reserve champion came from our heavyweight division, Parker Hanscom, with 2015, 143-pound lamb. That does conclude our market lambs and market lamb shows.